Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 4.
A winter wonderland or a fall nightmare. Maryland is dealing with the first snow of the storm season, and it's also bringing us sleet and freezing rain. And some of the areas of the state are seeing up to 7 inches of snow.
Fox 45 is bringing you team coverage of this wicked weather. We're out on the roads telling you what's happening now, and we've got eyes on the skies, ready to show you what's next.
Baltimore County got a lot of nasty weather, and the northern end of the county was hit especially hard.
Kathleen Cairns is live from Parkton, where there is a lot of snow up there. Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, Jennifer and Kai. You can't believe the difference just a few miles makes. Actually, we're looking at about 6 to 8 inches right here, and we're about 4 miles from the Pennsylvania border. Right here, it looks like a winter wonderland. However, the roads are very dangerous. It's not an easy day for anyone out on the roads in Baltimore County. It's really tough for plow truck drivers.
The conditions have been progressively getting worse. It's a little bit icy in certain spots on the bridges.
He's been on the road since 5 a.m.
Yeah, I heard it's a little bit worse going north.
It started with flakes and led to a heavier downfall. A bit unexpected in mid-November.
That's actually a little bit of extra money to get my son home for the holidays.
From the highways to the more rural roads, the warning is they're slick in northern Baltimore County.
Because there's possibly a layer of ice, and that it can be deceiving for drivers. You know, you just want to just use extra caution, be safe.
We are back live, and you're looking at some of these trees here. You can see the leaves haven't even come off these trees, and the snow is piled up. Certainly a clash of different seasons that have come together on November 15th of this year. Coming up on Fox 45 News at 5, we're going to take a look at how a summertime favorite, barbecue, played an important role for some people today in this winter wonderland. Reporting live in northern Baltimore County, Kathleen Cairns, Fox 45 News.
All right, Kathleen, thank you. She's kind of hitting all the seasons out
Isn't
there.
she? It really is a contrast. Well, the amount of snow caught many people off guard.
What changed? We're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Vetus Reed, who's going to explain the shift that made all of this happen. Vetus?
Yeah, there was an expected forecast for snow, but the amounts are what is different. And one of the reasons is because of what we've talked about, and we talk about it all the time with these coastal storms, a rain-snow line. And what that is the areas where it's going to be colder for it to remain more in the form of snow, and then areas that are going to be more in the form of rain on the warmer side of this system. So taking a look at the HD radar now, you can see the blue indicating where it's snowing, the pink indicating that's mixing going on, and then the green indicating the rain. So we still have some snow to the north of us, which has been staying snow for most of the day. Bigger picture here, you can see the area of low pressure down south of Indianapolis. That's going to wrap through later tonight and give us another little band of snow. Not a lot, but it could just add a little more on top of what we saw. Now, here's what it looked like as far as this dashed line, rain-snow line earlier today. I have it on a time frame. This is 4 a.m. Looking at the radar, we got the mixed bag precip coming in. The pink is the sleet and the freezing rain. That's coming in. But watch how this rain-snow line dropped about 25 miles south, allowing for the colder air to just take over and allow for more of the snow to come down around Baltimore City back towards Frederick along I-70. Then slowly the rain-snow lines start moving up, the warmer air mixing back in. But still, it's a core of pretty good snow coming down along the northern tier of the state. As this continued to move through the day, we're looking at 10 a.m. Then we're starting to see the mixing across the I-95 corridor where it was supposed to sit, but because it was down further south by about 4 hours of allowing snow, that's why we got the extra totals up to the north, and it's still kind of lagging to the south, even at 11 o'clock this morning, and then still making its way north. And we're starting to see more of the changeover take place as we get through the afternoon. So that rain-snow line is the key for how much snow has come down to in the area. So I'm going to continue to track this and show you some of the numbers of what we've expected to see and what was not expected to see up to the northwest of us coming up in just a bit.
All right, Vetus, thank you. Today's wintry mix closed some schools across the area. Others remained open, including Baltimore City schools. Keith Daniels is live in North Baltimore, where some parents are heated over the school system's snow decision. Keith?
Well, Kyle, we're live outside of the Roland Park Elementary Middle School, which of course remained open in this snow. Now, Baltimore Teachers Union Marietta English, she's calling the district's decision to remain open in this snow, quote, distressing. Now, it's the commute to and from schools today that has her concerned. Parents and students connected here after school for the walk or drive home. English says the district's decision to remain open in the snow has put teachers, staff, and students at risk. Some parents, they too are concerned.
It's all about their safety. You got to think about the kids on the bus stops and things like that. And saw a lot of spin outs today too. So it's a little bit more preparation and thought could have gone into it, I think.
Now we are back here live where after school programs are being let go now. We've seen parents come and go. Now we're told the school system sent letters home to parents today telling them various departments, quote, check roads and outside conditions as well as monitor weather forecasts before a final decision is made to close schools or not. We're live now in North Baltimore. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
All right, Keith, thank you. Well, schools have not announced their plans for tomorrow, but Fox 45 will keep you updated on Fox 45 News. You can also get a full list of school plans online. Go to our website, foxbaltimore.com.
Well, Carroll County saw a lot of snowfall today. Again, more than was expected. That's where we find meteorologist Ashley Kramlich tonight. Ashley, how are things looking up there?
You know, Jennifer, this is one of the hardest hit areas. We saw a good bit of snowfall and it was coming down heavily at times. I want to show you, this is very wet snow, the good snow that you make snowballs with. And you can just see how deep this snow is. They got just over 4.5 inches of snow in this location. The good news is that they've been treating the roads here pretty well. We've seen several snow plows come through since we have been here this afternoon, and it is starting to rain. So we're seeing that warm air in the atmosphere, and this rain should help the road conditions around this area. Right now, our temperature at this location is at 31 degrees, so we're just around that freezing point. But a big concern for tonight is any water left over on the roadways. If we dip below freezing once again, could lead to some black ice concerns. So that is going to be something that we will be watching here over the next few hours. I'm going to go ahead and send it to you guys back in the studio.
All right, Ashley, thank you. Well, as Vitas mentioned, the wintry weather began early this morning, and the Fox 45 Morning News team was out when the first flakes started to fall. Here's a quick recap of the morning rush hour, beginning with Stephanie Woods in the Hereford zone.
There are a few folks out and about. You see right now in Grawls Market, few people going in and out. We spoke to some living around Hereford, and they said that they're surprised to see snow this early. They were skidding a little bit on the road, but for the most part, everyone is getting where they need to go fairly easily.
From freezing rain to sleet to snow, Baltimore seeing it all Thursday morning. This salt yard here on Falls Road having a lot of activity. Trucks going in and out throughout the morning, filling up with salt to go out onto the roadways to make sure it's safe for drivers, just like this one here. This individual taking his time to get to where he needs to go. In North Baltimore, Amber Miller, Fox 45 News.
And traffic was especially treacherous in Frederick County. Traffic was blocked along eastbound I-70 this morning when, look at this, a fire truck overturned. It happened near Myersville. Now, there were no serious injuries in this accident. And this was the scene along Route 75 near Coppermine Road in Frederick County this morning. A tractor trailer jackknife across the highway, blocking traffic in both directions. Fire crews and rescue crews throughout that region responded to dozens of accidents because of slick area roads. A pedestrian crash in Anne Arundel County has turned fatal. It happened along Fort Smallwood Road in Pasadena about 5:30 this morning. Police say the man who was struck and killed was not using a crosswalk. Well, how are the roads looking right now? Probably not great. Let's check in with Chardell.
Hello, Kai. Hello, Jennifer. And Kai, you're absolutely right, guys. So it's so wet out there. You want to give yourself an extra amount of time while driving this afternoon if you have to go on the roads. Let's start off right now on 83 northbound past Timonium Road. We're dealing with an accident approaching exit 16. Unfortunately, the right shoulder lane were blocked. Now, if you are making that transition right now in Rosedale, we do have another accident on 95 southbound approaching 695 exit 64. Right now, the left shoulder lane, we are blocked as well. And in Hartford right now, we're also dealing with another crash. This is a backup on 95 northbound past 543 exit 80. That's your latest look on the roads. Jennifer, Kai, back to you.
Thank you, Chardell. Keep up with traffic and weather right in the palm of your hands. Download the WBFF app for your smartphone. It's free for both Apple and Android devices.
You can keep up with the weather through our team of meteorologists. Keep up with them on air and on social media. You can find them through our website, foxbaltimore.com.
Still to come on Fox 45 News at 4. Buying a home, it's often the biggest purchase of a person's life. But now there's a scam so disturbing, the FBI is getting involved. That story later on. Plus, as officials continue to fight those California fires, the search for the missing is becoming more frantic. We're taking you to the West Coast. And racism at the Hippodrome? People seeing Fiddler on the Roof say an audience member stood up and shouted something disturbing. Hear what it was next. And taking a live look outside, our Fox 45 mobile track is just off Northern Parkway in Northeast Baltimore. You can see on one of the side streets there. There's plenty of snow out there. Precipitation still coming down. A very messy afternoon all across the Baltimore region. Fox 45 has continuing coverage of the first snow of this season. First tonight, people who attended last night's performance of Fiddler on the Roof at the Hippodrome Theater were shocked by an outburst from a patron during intermission. A man stood up in the balcony and shouted, "Heil Hitler" and "Heil Trump." Moments later, the man was escorted out of the theater. Now, of course, the play profiles a Jewish family as it faces persecution in Russia. In a statement, the Hippodrome says behavior like that will not be tolerated. Reaction this afternoon to the discovery of racial graffiti at Goucher College. John Rydell is in Towson with more on who was targeted and how administrators are responding.
Well, the racist graffiti was discovered early Wednesday inside a dorm here at Goucher, and now it's got Baltimore County Police investigating.
On the Goucher campus, there's been quick response to an ugly message.
It was graffiti that was very much anti-black in nature. Very much of a threatening nature, and even went so far as to target specific student rooms where there are black students living.
For some here, it's a harsh reminder that Goucher is not immune to what's going on in society.
That it still goes on, and it doesn't really matter where it goes on at. You know, stuff happens. You know, but Goucher, they'll get to the bottom of it and clear it up.
This is a wonderful community. This is an abhorrent act that we condemn just as strongly as possible. It has no place here, and we're committed to seeing this through and dealing with it aggressively.
The Goucher administrators say if the person responsible for the racist graffiti is identified and that person is a student, they could face disciplinary action, which includes suspension or expulsion, or possibly criminal charges as well. In Towson, John Rydell, Fox 45 News.
In Annapolis, 8 midshipmen are being checked out by doctors after a hazardous materials situation at the U.S. Naval Academy this morning. A Naval Academy spokesperson says a suspicious odor was coming from a classroom at the school's chemistry building. We're told that the 8 are being checked out as a precaution.
In John Rydell's stand-up, you can hear the sound of that sleet mix on his umbrella.
Exactly. That's kind of how it was for much of the day. And this was like the real thing, Vitas.
This is the real deal.
No joke.
Sure. It was a pretty good winter blast. And because of that rain slow line shifting just a bit, just about 20, 25 miles, that makes the world of difference because generally you'll get the higher snow amounts in the north and northwestern counties because it's the elevation plays a lot into that. When you go a little higher in the elevation, the temperatures drop. And everything with this has to deal with those temperatures. And that's very hard to forecast because you're talking about the timing, how much moisture, where's the cold and the warm air going to be, and all of that plays into it. So looking at this, it looks like we were expected last night about anywhere from about 2 to 3 north of us, but we've got around 4 to 6 of north of us because that air was allowed to stay cold throughout pretty much the whole duration of the arrival of the storm. So let's talk about what we're seeing here as all those kids are just loving making snowmen right now and snow angels. So here's what it looks like out there in Towson. You can see that we are seeing everything snow covered. There is some sleet going on right now. We're starting to see a little bit of the warmer air peel in over this. So it looks like we're going to continue to see some sleeting coming down. That will lower some of the snow that's piled on certain surfaces out there. So looking at those those temperatures right now. 34 degrees, so it's right at that borderline. So you need at freezing about 32 degrees. We start seeing about 33, 34 degrees, 35. It turns more into that sleet. And then you get into those higher numbers like 36, 37, which is just south of us. Then you're getting mainly just rain coming down. So let's take a look around the neighborhood. You can see how we're already warm down in Annapolis. 39 degrees. So you get from the Annapolis of 39 degrees to downtown Baltimore, right around 34, 35 degrees. Then you drop to 32, 33 in Bel Air, 32 in Westminster. So you're seeing the core of the colder temperatures where it's mainly been snow because it's been allowed to be colder. The rain snow line shifted south and southwest of this area, or southeast of this area, just by a few miles to make the difference of who is going to see more of the snow versus rain. So as this low is moving up, it's bringing in that moisture, and depending where you were, you're going to see a little more of that sleet, rain versus snow. And this is what we saw through much of the day. The blue indicating the snow staying mostly in the northern portion of the area, but some of it got right over Baltimore City, these areas, and it stayed cold enough to be snow. So that's why we added a few more inches to that. So it was a pretty good storm moving through. Now it's starting to taper off just to the back, but we do have a wraparound effect that's going to occur a little later. So 3 to 6 inches up there north of Baltimore City, back towards Carroll County, looking northeast of us, about 1 to 3 mixed with some sleet, and south from the city south, about 1 to 3 inches over parts of Howard County, northern Anne Arundel County, and parts of Montgomery County. So heavier amounts as much as 7 inches up there towards Thurmont, just north of Frederick. So here's what it looks like timing it out. It'll change over a little bit to some rain, some sleet as temperatures are warming. We could get some backing in late overnight into Friday morning. A little bit of snow, sleet may come down 4 a.m. and then about 5:30. It's going to start wrapping out, and then we'll get some sunshine that moves in here as we go through the day with breezy conditions as we get through Friday. So your 7-day forecast looks like this. Morning, a little bit of a wintry mix real early, then the sun comes out, 48 degrees, 49 and blustery on Saturday, sunshine on Sunday, 48 degrees as we get to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All of next week looks pretty quiet with some sunshine. Back to you.
All right, Vitas, thank you.
Well, right now, people are concerned about those roads. We're joined on the phone by John Schofield from the Maryland Highway Administration. John, how are you? And thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here, too, to give us some perspective. From the standpoint of public safety today, how bad was it around Maryland roads?
Oh, well, I'll tell you, it got pretty bad this afternoon, really in areas like I-70 and I-68. Right now, we've got really sustained long backups due to some jackknife tractor trailers and some incidents on the network. We had dozens of incidents as we got out of the morning rush, where there really weren't a lot. But as the snowy conditions continued through the morning and into the afternoon, particularly in those northern counties like Carroll and Frederick and Allegheny, that's when we really started seeing some incidents on the roadways. And it was really just one of those things where people weren't respecting the road conditions, going a little bit too fast, and then you have a jackknife tractor trailer, you have a collision here, and that really backed up the network for hours.
To about 300 accidents during the course of the day today, which is a tremendous amount. And obviously you guys were prepared for anything, but maybe a lot of drivers weren't expecting it to be this bad this soon.
That could be the case, and we tried to get the word out over the last couple of days. I mean, we were prepared, we were pre-treating the roads, but you know, we're always trying to advise people to, whether it's a sunny summer day or whether it's a wintry day like today, to always drive prepared, make sure your vehicle is road ready. In cases like this, make sure you have an ice scraper in the car when there's the call for precipitation. You never know when you're going to have to get your car ready to go, and sometimes it's just leaving a sheet of ice on the top of the car and then driving and it flies off when you're on the road that it causes an incident out there on the road. But we expect that some people's driving abilities in the wintry conditions will atrophy a little bit over the summer, and we just have to accommodate for this. We knew that today might be a little bit rough, staffed for it, and we're going to continue to work throughout the night to make sure the roads stay safe.
Okay. Thank you, John Schofield with the Maryland State Highway Administration.
All right, thank you.
An update to a story we first brought you last night, where they found the woman who was missing after Baltimore's Alien Con.
Snow continues to fall over Baltimore County. Next, how county officials are adjusting their snow and ice removal plan to keep up with the winter weather.
Taking you live look outside right now, you can see it is a little hazy with all of the mixed weather that is still coming down over the Baltimore harbor. But what will the skies look like later tonight? Vitas Reed will have another look at your forecast in just about 9 minutes.
Yeah, that shot's really deceiving in terms of what we had around the area, Jennifer. The snow kept falling in Baltimore County well after rush hour. This was the scene along York Road in the Towson area. And by midday, county officials said they were ready to change their ice and snow removal plans if necessary.
We'll see what happens tonight. We may bring crews or keep crews in overnight if we need to. So we monitor the weather and take care of business.
Well, this is the first and possibly the only snow event during the administration of County Executive Don Mueller, who leaves office early next month.
Right now, Shelley Orman continues our team coverage. Shelley is live in our Fox 45 mobile track with a closer look at the road conditions. Shelley, are they getting any better?
It kind of depends on where you are, Kai. We're actually in Towson right now. We drove through the north part of Baltimore City. Some of the main roads were looking like they were a little better, and I'll show you why. If we look outside right now, it's been raining pretty steadily, and that rain has actually been clearing out some of the slush off the roads. The main roads that had obviously more cars traveling on them were looking pretty clear, although some of the turn lanes that didn't have as much traffic on them still looks like some slush built up. Side roads, different story, still problems. What we're seeing right now as we've been traveling from the northeast part of Baltimore, we went up Northern Parkway and then turned down Charles, and now we're on Towson Town. The only problems we've been having really is there is so much water out here. We've hydroplaned just a little bit in certain parts. Some of that water is pooling up on the road, so you definitely want to still take it slow. And you can see as we're pulling up to the stoplight here at York Road, still some slush on it in parts. So yeah, once those cars hit, more cars hit out here for rush hour, gonna be a mess. So expect it to take some more time. That's what we're seeing here in Towson right now. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Shelley, thank you. Coming up, Florida continues to scramble to meet today's recount deadline, the technical problem that threatened to delay results in the U.S. Senate and governor's races.
Scammers just, they feed on emotional hooks.
The Better Business Bureau says a new holiday gift exchange is really a pyramid scheme, the scam that could steal your money and your identity.
New developments in the Randallstown fire that killed a 75-year-old woman, what firefighters say caused an explosion heard around the block.
Well, again, we've been talking about this winter. It really caught a lot of us off guard today. We knew it was coming, but as Vita said, the snow line made all the difference in the world.
That's right, and we're continuing to have problems late into the day. Chief Meteorologist Vitas Reed is joining us now with some important updates on the forecast. Vitas.
So once again, we're talking about that rain snow line and the rain that came down, the sleet that came down in other areas, and then the snow. Well, right now, we're looking at the system still. It's right on that fine line of where we're seeing the pink showing that sleeting going on, but there's still some snowflakes coming down. And then it's going to be a lot of areas that are getting rain where it's a little warmer to the south. Now, this is moving up towards Philadelphia, New York. They're getting more of the snow along the I-95 corridor through Pennsylvania, all through on the state of Pennsylvania. If you're on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, it's going to be a mess through the entire state. And then this is wrapping around this area of low pressure. Now, this is going to be that next little wave that moves in late overnight and then into early tomorrow morning before it leaves the region. And then we'll get some breaks in the clouds. But what we dealt with today was this rain snow line going back to early at 5 o'clock in the morning. Rain snow line was to along the I-95 corridor. This thing shifted south, and as it did so, it allowed more of the cold air to be in this region for this to be more of the snow. And that was expected to last for a short period of time, but it kind of stayed south for several hours through the 9 a.m., 10 o'clock in the morning hours. Looking at 11 o'clock, still a lot of snow coming down until some of that sleeting and mixing took place more towards 11, 12. But still, look at this. It's really stayed the core of cold air stuck around long enough to just really enhance the amount of snowfall to the northern parts of the state. So that's why we had as much as 5, 6 inches up around Frederick and also in Carroll County, even just northern Baltimore County, some areas about 4.5 to 5 inches of snow. So this is quite interesting to see the difference of just a few miles makes with the rain-snow line. This plays out almost with every storm that we try to forecast here in Central Maryland. Now back to you guys.
All right, Vitas, thank you.
Well, Fox 45 has a team of meteorologists and reporters out covering this storm.
That's right. Ashley Kramlich is live in Carroll County tonight with the very latest on conditions there. One of the hardest places hit. How's it looking, Ashley?
Yes, Jennifer, this was one of the areas where we saw the heaviest snowfall. We are on Main Street here in Westminster in our storm tracker, and you can tell just how deep this snow is. We got about 4.8 inches of snow, very wet snow, the good snow to make snowballs with. The roads here tonight, we've seen numerous snowplows go through. They've been treating the roads pretty well up here, but the back roads, that's going to be the big issues. The areas that aren't traveled as much, that is going to be a big concern tonight. Temperatures have actually warmed up a bit. I want to go ahead and show you what we are looking at. Rain has started to fall here. The temperature at 31.4 degrees earlier is at 31, so it is warming up a bit. As the atmosphere warms up, we'll start to see the rain fall, and hopefully that will help the road conditions. But if we see that temperature drop below freezing once again tonight, maybe some black ice on the road, so something that we will need to be watching for over the next few hours. Live in Carroll County, Ashley Kramlich, Fox 45 News.
All right, Ashley, thank you. Well, it's been a long day of icy roads, falling snow, and even dangerous commutes. But for some in the southern part of our state, things look a little bit different. Joy Lambert continues our team coverage of the snow and ice from Annapolis. Joy?
Yeah, Kai, definitely looks a little bit different here. Right now, all we're really seeing is rain. You can see it. It's coming down a little bit here. They are kind of heavy drops of rain. We have been seeing some sleet, though, throughout the day. The roads have been very slick out here, but really not the problem spot. We're dealing with some wind out here in Annapolis. You can see this is about the extent of snow they saw here on the back of this boat. This is kind of what we're seeing, just a little light dusting everywhere. It was really as it came down in that sleet form that was kind of more of a nuisance than anything else. And then when you're walking around, some slick spots. But right now the wind is starting to gust out here, so it's really getting chilly over here at Annapolis. And again, we want to watch out for that refreeze overnight. That will definitely be the issue that they'll be talking about here in Annapolis. Joy Lambert, Fox 45 News.
All right, Joy, thank you. Maryland is not the only place that got snow today. Check out this video from St. Louis, Missouri. This is video from above, and you can see those people are taking advantage of the winter weather, sledding and skiing down hills.
And check out the White House earlier today. It looks like a winter wonderland. D.C. also experienced more snow than expected.
It's pretty shot. Well, this first snow of the season has social media buzzing today, as you can imagine.
Our Jeff Abel has been tracking the traffic online and shows us what people are posting. Hi, Jeff.
Hello, you know, this may be an earlier snow than usual, but it appears to be a very welcome snow, at least according to those online. Many people were out with their pets today. Some of them appeared to be really enjoying the snow. Others, however, seemed to be, well, simply enduring this snow. It did, however, provide a lot of picturesque moments, and especially this picture was taken behind MPT out in Owings Mills. Another picturesque moment down in a residential neighborhood in Baltimore. But all day, people writing and sending us photos. Let it snow, they say. And of course, we're going to be getting more snow. Of course, this dog says not my preference for doing my business, but a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, and people are enjoying this day in Baltimore among the snow. Back to you.
Jeff, I like you on this assignment. Stay on that, please. Well, once you're safe at home, send us your first snow pictures and videos. We'd like to see more of it, and Jeff would love to tell you about it. Just tap Chime in the Fox 45 News app or go to foxbaltimore.com/chime in.
Fire investigators are ruling last week's deadly fire in Randallstown an accident. 75-year-old Lana Miller was found dead inside of her burned-out home last Wednesday. Now investigators say that fire was an electrical fire. They say an explosion sound that neighbors heard was the sound of Miller's oxygen tank exploding in the fire's heat. A fire at a Parkville apartment complex that critically hurt a 33-year-old man is also being ruled an accident. County investigators say that fire started Tuesday when a lamp fell. A happy ending tonight for a Chicago woman reported missing in Baltimore after attending the AlienCon convention last weekend. 32-year-old Kamara Alaman has returned home safely to Chicago. This is according to Baltimore City Police. Her family became concerned when she missed her flight home on Monday night, and they were unable to reach her. Now it's unclear why she was unable to contact her family or why she missed that flight.
1 year ago today, Baltimore Police homicide detective Sean Suter was shot in an alley in West Baltimore, and questions remain about how he died. In August, an independent review board concluded Suter killed himself, but the medical examiner has not changed its finding that Suter's death was a homicide. And Baltimore Police won't tell us if Suter's death is still an open murder investigation. Suter was scheduled to appear before a grand jury the day after he was shot. A new report calls for more consent decrees to reduce police abuse at a time when the Department of Justice is using them less often. Today, the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights released its report on police use of force. The report shows a high rate of force used by police across the country. The commission recommends federal reform plans called consent decrees be implemented to help lower that rate, reform plans embraced by Baltimore City.
The damage to public trust in the police by late 2016 was as bad as it had ever been. So it was important for us to see this process through.
Recent Attorney General Jeff Sessions criticized consent decrees for their expense to local governments.
New today, President Trump announces plans to visit wildfire victims in California. At least 56 people are dead and 130 are missing as a result of those wildfires in Northern California. Now a new wildfire has sprung up in Ventura County. The brush fire, called the Briggs Fire, broke out early Thursday morning. By nightfall, it scorched up to 100 acres. Today, Secretary of the Interior Ryan Zink traveled to California to urge for bipartisan solutions.
It's unsustainable to have this happen year after year, or have a season like this where you have 100,000-acre fires becoming routine. We're a great nation. This is not a Republican or Democrat issue. This is an American issue.
More than 10,000 homes have been destroyed by the Camp Fire and Woolsey fires.
Florida counties meet today's deadline to submit the results of election recounts. The state's 67 counties are required to do machine recounts of more than 8 million ballots. Earlier, a federal judge rejected a request for more time. Palm Beach County struggled the most to meet the deadline. Old machines overheated, forcing them to count more than 170,000 votes again.
Will you meet the deadline today?
The likelihood is slim. We're in prayer mode to finish on time, ma'am.
Well, right now, the state's U.S. Senate and governor's races are within a 0.5% margin. The election results will be certified on Tuesday. All right, it is a mess out there this afternoon. Our Chardell Moore is standing by with our Traffic Edge report to let us know just how bad things are and where the most trouble is. Chardell.
You're absolutely right. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Kai. So here's the deal right now, guys. Unfortunately, we are pretty much jammed-packed on 95 southbound approaching 272 due to an accident. Unfortunately, guys, the right shoulder lane were blocked. Now, turn it over to Columbia right now. We're experiencing some delays, guys, on 32 eastbound at Old Columbia Road approaching Shaker Drive. Now, for my folks traveling on 70 eastbound approaching 29, unfortunately, guys, we are dealing with another accident to report approaching exit 87. The right shoulder lane we are blocked. As you can see, we do have some ambulance on the scene right now. And if you are making that transition along 83, also, guys, have delays to sit through northbound between Belfast Road and 137. That's your latest look on the roads. Be safe out there. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chardell. The U.S. Navy is getting another ship coming up. We're taking you aboard the future USS Sioux City.
And next, couples across the country say this scam almost cost them tens of thousands of dollars. How the FBI says you can keep it from happening to you.
In tonight's Consumer Alert, imagine saving for a down payment to buy a home, then losing it all to a scammer just before closing.
It's happening to more and more people around the country. Connie Thompson from our sister station in Seattle says it's a scam so big, even the FBI is sounding the alarm.
We were just so excited that we just sent the money over. We didn't really think twice about it.
And I said, oh my God.
It's bad.
FBI agent Ethan Vi tells me it's the biggest scam he's seen. Email hackers lurking online and tracking real estate transactions.
I just don't want this to happen to anybody else.
Serenity Isom and her young family lost $12,000. Just days from closing the loan on their first home, they get email instructions telling them where to send the closing cost. The email even had the right closing date.
We were finally going to own our own home, and then we just fell for this stupid scam.
It's called the mortgage closing cost scam. When you're in the final stages of buying property,
That's the place.
you get email from people you're already dealing with, or so you think, telling you where to wire money to close. Paul Strohmeyer and his wife almost lost tens of thousands of dollars and the beach house of their dreams.
Because you're so excited about the transaction and the future, you fail to look at the details.
How do scammers do it?
A lot of times they will access an email server through a phishing scheme where you receive an email with a link attached.
Copycat emails known as phishing, poor computer security, malicious software known as malware, weak email passwords. The money lost to this email interception is staggering.
In the United States, since October of last year, there has been $1.1 billion lost.
$1.1 billion nationwide in just the last year. 26 million stolen in Washington state alone. Your chances of getting your money back, slim to none.
So the email address is actually from my realtor.
With more than $42,000 on the line, John Scherger was ready for the ruse when the bogus closing instructions hit his inbox last spring. He contacted his realtor.
I just forwarded him the email that I got, and I said, "Did you send this?" And he said, "Absolutely not."
So if he had sent the money, he would have been able to make the sale. He would have lost the $42,000 and he wouldn't have had the cash to close.
John's realtor, Scott Sullivan, warned him about the scam ahead of time. Always call before you wire money.
If you're going to send money, you need to make sure who you're sending that money to. It was almost me.
As his family settles into their new home,
We like it. It's very homey.
they cringe at how one simple email almost turned their dream into a nightmare. I'm problem solver Connie Thompson.
What a story. Well, if you discover that you have been duped by a closing cost scam, it's important that you and your agent alert your bank immediately. Then you should call the FBI.
The FBI says their window for even trying to get your money back is only about 72 hours.
Well, the season of giving is upon us, but for some, it's also the season of taking.
Right now, the Better Business Bureau is warning people about a social media gift exchange. It's called the Secret Sister Gift Exchange. It's been popping up on social media sites like Facebook.
It promises participants will receive up to 36 gifts if they buy and send one $10 gift. Now, users are encouraged to invite others to do the same, but the Better Business Bureau says you could lose something more valuable than the $10 gift you send.
You might be helping a scammer with their attempts at identity theft. This is a pyramid scheme. It doesn't seem like that at first, but it's nothing more than a pyramid scheme, and the most important thing is it's illegal.
If you see friends posting these Secret Sister requests, either ignore them or refer them to the Better Business Bureau's information page about the scam.
All right, so major weather event today, and it's
Yeah.
not over yet.
Yeah, we have this pretty good storm pushing through the area. Heavier amounts of snow, more than we expected, to the north because of the rain-snow line shifting overnight a little further south, allowing for that cold air to kind of just settle in and that be in the form of snow, longer periods of time of snow versus sleet and rain. But now we're seeing a little bit of that changeover in some areas, still along the northern tier of the state. It's pretty significant as far as snowfall, anywhere from about 4 to 6, some areas as much as 7 inches from this system. So very significant storm. Let's talk about what's going on out there. Now, as I animate this, you see that little center of circulation back just over western portions of Kentucky. So we're looking at the area of low pressure right here that's spinning around. This is what's going to come in as we get into the late overnight into early tomorrow morning. Right now, we're going to continue to see this make its way through, and we're starting to see some breaks in the precip down over northern Virginia. So this will continue to get a little bit quieter. We'll start seeing more of that mixing going on, even into northern counties up there along the state line. So right now, some sleeting coming down. Even in Towson, we're looking right now, temperatures at about 34 degrees, so just above freezing, and we'll see some areas about 35, 36, and those winds are out of the northeast at about 19. So definitely it's been a messy one out there. 33 in Bel Air, 32 in Westminster, so still some snow, sleet mixing in up here. Temperatures about 39 in Annapolis, 36 in Stevensville, 34 in Chestertown. So we're seeing a little warmer air to the south. So as this low shifts on off to the east, we'll continue to see that the heaviest snowfall bands were just to the north and west of us. That is what was expected. In fact, a little closer look at the radar, the blue indicating where the snow is still coming down. But see how the mixing's taking place? We're seeing a little layer of warmer air overrunning the cooler air at the surface. So what does that do? That creates sleet. That creates the freezing rain kind of potential. So that's why this pink is indicating the warmer air, those 30s, mid-upper 30s are running over the lower 30s as far as temperatures. And we'll continue to see that probably the case for the remaining portion of this part of the storm. So pretty much I think the snow is ending. But back to the west, we'll probably see another little burst of snow as temperatures fall late tonight into tomorrow morning. Anywhere from about 3 to 6 inches, northern Baltimore County, Carroll County, almost 7 inches out there north of Frederick. And then down south of like I-70, you got about 1 to 3, about 2.5 inches in Baltimore City itself. And then areas up to the northeast, about 1 to 3. So definitely we're going to continue to see this winter storm warning in effect to the north of us until about 4 a.m. because of the weather conditions. So it'll be some rainy precipitation with some sleet mixing in, but early in the morning, looking at about 2:30 in the morning, it could be a little snow and sleet mixing back in 4 a.m. Then the storm wraps out of here about 5:30, and we'll start to see some breaks in the clouds and a little sun as we go through the day on Friday. So some changes coming our way for our weekend, getting some sunshine, but cooler temperatures. You'll need those gloves, scarves, hats, and nice warm jackets. I'll tell you more about what we have to expect for the rest of this 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Vitas. Coming up on Fox 45 News at 5, an unbelievable update in a lawsuit over a GoFundMe campaign for a generous homeless man. The evidence, the whole thing was staged.
Coming up next, a look at the Naval Fleet's newest combat ship.
And here's another look on the roads right now. The rain coming down more than snow. Hopefully it melts away. Fox 45 will have complete coverage of the snow that's spread around Maryland today. Two days before its commissioning, we're getting a first look inside what will be the USS Sioux City. It's the 13th small surface combat ship to enter the Naval Fleet and the first ship to be named after Sioux City, Iowa.
Joy Lambert reports from inside the ship in Annapolis before it heads to its new home in Mayport, Florida.
Welcome to the USS Sioux City, a fast, agile, mission-focused ship that took nearly 2 years to build. And today we're getting the first tour of this 21st century vessel.
We are ready to commission the ship in the namesake of Sioux City. So it's an honor to be here.
Commanding Officer Randy Malone helped guide the 3,500-ton ship in its maiden voyage from Marinette, Wisconsin to the dock of the Naval Academy on the Chesapeake Bay.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime event for a sailor, and there's 140 sailors here that are around this country. So every part of this country is touched by one ship.
The ship is 378 feet long and powered by 2 gas turbine engines, 2 main propulsion diesel engines, and 4 water jets. And because of a shallow draft, it can go closer to shore than almost any other Navy ship.
To the pilot house, which is where we drive the ship from, and you'll get to see how automated this ship is. All right, follow me, please.
Up a narrow staircase and through a hall of mementos, you find a completely high-tech bridge.
Automation. Automation means smaller number of crew members on board. So we rely on cameras to man cameras essentially replace men and women in the space.
A mess hall, which thanks to Sioux City-based Blue Bunny, will be stocked with ice cream for life.
This is where we're gonna do Blue Bunny is gonna put their freezer at for the ice cream.
But it's out on the bow.
Got some Sioux City type of weather out here.
That we get a true perspective of power.
This gun is used to shoot air contacts and surface contacts. It has a range of about 7 to 8 nautical miles. We use it as our primary barrier to defend the ship.
A 57-millimeter gun with a rate of fire at 120 rounds per minute.
This gun is primarily for self-defense of the ship only, against small boat attacks and air contacts.
Once certification is complete in 3 to 4 months, they will also get a 30-millimeter gun on the ram deck.
And the official commissioning ceremony for this ship is this Saturday at 9 a.m. In Annapolis, Joy Lambert, Fox 45 News.
And looking at your 7-day forecast, once the storm leaves the region by tomorrow morning, we're looking at just early morning, a little bit of snow mixed with some sleet, and that's going to pull on out of here quickly, and then we'll get some sunshine in the afternoon, 48 degrees. Some sunshine, a little blustery on Saturday, 49 for the high. Sunday, we'll have more sunshine, 48 degrees. We remain in those mid to lower 40s, well below where we should be for this time of year. Normal high is around 57 degrees, but it's a cool week ahead as we see some sun mixed with some clouds, but those temperatures are on the cooler side of things. Back to you.
Thank you, Vitas. Coming up on Fox 45 News at 5, our early winter storm creates a rough day on the roads. New information on the traffic trouble and what we can expect over the next 24 hours.
And most area school systems were closed today, but not Baltimore City. What parents are saying about that decision tonight.
Live from Wbff in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 5.